T-Man 978 Chill Review.
This is T-Man 978's Chill Review for Transformers Generations War for Cybertron Trilogy Earthrise Lynx. Lynx is a commander class, the second ever commander class. Well, this scale commander class. The other commander classes are probably about this tall, so yeah, whole different thing now. Hasbro's not confusing. Lynx comes with 9 accessories, 7 of which are these blast effects. 3 of them are these, which are more practical, but we have this blasting off effect, which I hear is repurposed from Siege's Omega Supreme. So you can use that as like a fire effect or blast effect, and you can go the extra mile of putting that on the end. They also come with these guns right here, completely filled in on both sides, even has a screw in there. Isn't that awesome? No waffling. The only hole it has is right there, the port that you can connect 2 of these together, or if you have a Battle Master, you can port them in there. Isn't that great? Or you can port these effects on here. That port is not very long, so yeah, it stays in there, but I don't feel secure with that. And unfortunately, they only give you 3 of these, so you can't have it aimed up with 4 of these unless you take one of these effects and then put one of these there. But there you go with that. I should mention I showed off the packaging and how this thing was packaged inside of that package in a live stream I did. I'll put a link in the description and I'll put a link at the end of the video. But this portion of the vehicle mode or alternate mode is done. It came out like that, but the space shuttle version has the wings up like this, and what you need to do is you have these right here, and you have a little hole right here in the wing. You need to kind of bend it like this while getting it in the spot, and then bend it up like that. This also does not feel secure to me. I wish it pegged in some other type of way. I mean, it stays, but it doesn't make me feel good. And like the slightest bump, and it's gonna go up, or with a hard enough bump, it's gonna go up. But Lynx essentially has 4 alternate modes. One being this space shuttle right here, which is actually licensed, has NASA's license logo on there, and they allowed Hasbro to name him the Magnificence. I guess this is probably in their record somewhere that this is like an official space shuttle or something like that. That's how it seemed Hasbro was trying to explain it. One cool thing you can do with these 3 ports, and this is why they give you 3 of these. You can port these 3 in here for the blast effect option. You do have 2 additional ports. Maybe we can use these 2, even though they're asymmetrical now. But blasting off. This is what it looks like in the front. It does have hints of white paint in certain areas, but it's mostly just white plastic. I do see like a, I guess this is an off-white right there, piece of paint. This is white paint, gray paint right there. You see the gold. And besides being able to put this stuff back here, one feature it has is you can open this up to show the, I guess this would be solar panels. And on the bottom, you get the landing gear right here, and here, and here. So now this thing can roll. It doesn't feel like it's rolling. Those are real friggin' tires, or real wheels, I should say. This is more scraping. I don't know if that can go back any further. Nope, off camera I didn't figure anything else out. I guess depending on the surface. No, that's just too low. It's scraping. I'm not even going to try to play it off. If you're hard up for putting passengers in here, you can like pull it out, open the mouth up, and I have these Bandai people. Or you can do a Diaclone, put them in there, and now you have a passenger. You have your own astronaut in there. Yay. Before we move away from this component, here's a space shuttle comparison right here. Well, here's leader class Astrotrain. He is a smaller space shuttle, as you can see. I don't have the caboose. If the caboose was on the back, which wouldn't make any sense, they'd probably be about the same length. As far as weapons in this mode, you do have a port there. Port at least one gun here. There's nothing on the top besides right there, but good luck fitting anything there. You can also port things right here in these two ports. Now for his cargo fuel component, or I don't know what you would want to call this thing. It's like it has treads and looks like this. Looks like that. It also has treads on this side, making you think that you can flip him over and he could still function this way. But I meant to explain all this stuff earlier. Lynx is two separate components, but it's like both of them contain his personality, so it's like both parts are him. They never explain it in the cartoon. Typically, you would rarely see both of these components on screen at once they separate it. It seemed like he would drop this part off and just be the bird or the shuttle, or the shuttle would fly away and he would just be this part. But it seemed like both of them were equally him, if that makes any sense. If you want, there are no real ports on the top. It looks like there's a port right there, but I'm not going to be able to put anything there. There are two ports in the front. So I would just put these here. And now it can defend itself. It has guns. I guess these are guns right there. You can put blast effects everywhere. Let's see if this, yeah, these fit here. So it can shoot right there. So I'm not making that up. This set does so much, it's hard to know where to start, but you see this alternate mode and this alternate mode. The third alternate mode is there's a slot right there and a slot right here. And we have this little section right there. They want you to groove it in between here. Once you have it like secure down here, you put it on there and pull it forward. We should be able to click this right there. And now this is his third alternate mode, where it's him flying. I guess if this was real life, it will be attached to two rockets, and then you fly up like this, and this will be the fuel container right there. But it's not real life, it's Transformer life. But basically you have it like this. To release this, we can do this and do that. And I prematurely went to that without showing off this thing's features besides rolling. It has a door back here. You can pull that out, and he can hold Micromasters inside. At least depending on the shape, if they're flat, they might be on top of each other, but at least two of them can fit in there with the door securely shut right here. So cool raw feature right there. Depending on what type of Legends class figures you got, I was able to get Goldbug in there. That's new age Goldbug, so that's cool. I don't think I was able to get pretty much anything else. So it's definitely designed with Micromasters in mind. It does have a hatch down here, but I'll show that off in the other modes. I mean, I'll let you see it. You can do this. If they were to somehow get stuck in there, you can open this up and drop them out. So that's cool. For a clear shot, this is a wheel, that's a wheel, that's a wheel, and that's a wheel. no wheels on the treads. All the other transformations are self-explanatory, so I'm gonna just get the tough one out of the way first. I say tough, but not really tough. Flip it over. Go ahead and detach this. Rotate it that way. Detach that. Rotate it that way. And then we can go ahead and pull that out so that this will be out like that. But keep these things like that. Now we can detach this, detach that, lift this up, lift that up, rotate them this way, bring that up like this, bring it up like this, and you can do whatever you want at this point, but the suggested orientation is they want you to put this like that, and that like this. And now we can pull these two ramps down. They are very secure in there, as you can see right here. Open this up. It's easy to grab from the bottom and flip that out. Aim it down. Pull this ramp out. Lift that up. And now we can take the space shuttle. Alright, I'm actually having trouble with this. First time I did this, I don't remember it like rocking. It just pegged together. Put this here. And I guess that's more resting there than I would have thought. It's not like, once you move that, this thing is going to fall. Alright, you have these ramps right here. And this ramp, you can connect to Scorponok. You can connect to the other robots that have these connecting points, like Optimus Prime's trailer. The weaponizers, I've seen that you can even connect it to their Omega Supreme from Siege. So there you go with that. And of course you can have Micromasters all over the place. You can have Legends class people wandering about. Here's Bumblebee. I guess you wouldn't want to have Soundwave. Here's Cosmos. All of these are new age. But what Hasbro would want is you to have Micromasters all over the place. And like you can have your Titan Masters and Prime Masters and whatnot walking all around and going up there to do stuff. So there you are. You can have people manning the guns, basically sitting on it, and all that type of stuff. So here you are with this. Alright, I'm going to do the reverse transformation to go basically back to, bring that down, back to its original form. Rotate that down, blah blah blah. It's so easy. And one issue, if I have to have a QC type complaint, this tab goes into there. It does not stay in secure all the time. Like this side is easier to come out, and you'll be doing that by accident. But basically the main thing you want to focus in on is this hole right there and these pegs right here. So basically get that to here, and you see the wheel right there, so you know the tread goes that way. That's the main important thing. Same thing for the upper limbs. You got this port right there. You want to shut this first though. Bring it around and port it in. Flip him over and he's done again. Being a commander class, they use way more plastic. I've been meaning to mention that this thing feels very substantial. Like it takes me through a time warp. I was talking about that Cybertron Red Alert, the Cybertron Defense Red Alert, and how good that thing feels. This is equally the same. So they put a lot of love into it as far as the plastic. Yeah, if you watch my channel enough, you should know who a lot of these characters are. But this is a leader class figure. They share the same color scheme just about, as you can see, but Ultra Magnus here is pretty much the same length, but he is nowhere near as heavy. Here is the previous commander class in his vehicle mode. Jetfire. And this is Jetfire with all of his main components, not his guns. And you know what I'm gonna do? Now that I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna weigh them without their blast effects to see who's heavier. Lynx is 1 pound, 11.6 ounces, making him 782 grams. Jetfire is 1 pound, 10.8 ounces, 758 grams. Lynx is heavier. Not by much, but he's heavier. I'm gonna start with their individual alternate modes. Push this button to detach that, pull it forward, and let's start with the birdie. You can pull this out. One thing I don't like is there's no satisfying like click to hold that into place. Now once you lift this up, you won't have to worry about things, and you can bend that forward. You can decide what you want to do with this later. But this doesn't, I wish this had a ratchet as well. But anyway, bring these red bits down. Well, actually, lift this up first. Bring this forward. Bend it down like that. Bring it forward. Bend it down. And we can come under here and bring this out and bring that out. Same deal on this side, and bring this down, bring that down, 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 open up the birdie toes back here, open up this, stretch all of this out of there, bring it down, shut that. This does not close with a satisfying click or close, but basically, depending on how you want the wings to be and how you want the legs to be, you're done with this mode right here. Let me bring my camera back. This is going to be hard for me to do. This thing is getting tall, but here we are. Here's the head. Yeah, this is going to be super hard for me to review around my freaking tripod because of how tall it is. But basically, because of the way his legs are, I mean, if you work with it and work with the balance, hold on. I didn't want to torture y'all while I got this thing balanced, but I have it posed without the tail touching the ground. But to relieve the stress on yourself, I would just pose it with the tail on the ground and have the butt angled down. But I'm thinking maybe the legs should have been, I don't know. I'm pretty sure they tested this over and over and over again to see where's the best placement. I was able to get it there. It does have ratchets all over the place, and let's just get into the articulation. It ratchets out there at the hip, ratchets back, swivels right here. This probably should have been the ratchet. It can ratchet right here, swivel here. It has ankle pivot on both feet. The toes can do that. The toes can come up, and it ratchets forward and back. That is a ton of articulation for something like this. Normally they don't give beast modes that much articulation, but these things are basically only beast and not robots. And let's get to the neck, because we didn't even do that. As a ratchet here, ratchet here, ratchets there, and it ratchets that way. The head is on a ball joint, so it can swivel all the way around and go down, as you can see. The mouth opens, and this tongue laser can do that. You can also rock this way on that joint. So he has a ton of posability, as you can see. The wings, they mostly go out like that. They rotate on this hinge. You can rotate on that hinge. You can bring them out that way. So the wings are very variable depending on what you want. And yeah, this tends to, on this copy right here, pop off of this mushroom peg very, very freaking easy. Like super frustratingly easy. There was a point where it did have like a satisfying click onto it, but yeah, that comes off super easy. But to show you more, it bends on the joint here, goes on the joint here, and this joint right there. So you can angle these wings however you see fit. And the tail back here, the tail has this motion, double joint right here, which apparently I just found out is a clip-on joint. It's not pinned. It's pinned here, double jointed right there, a pin here, and this can rotate. So it has a bunch of articulation. So you can get an idea of how tall he is in this form. Here's a Voyager class figure right here. Here is a masterpiece Megatron right there. So Megatron is about 9.5 inches tall. So this thing is looking above his head. So that's very tall and just the bird mode right there. Of course, it can look up if you want to include that as height. And you can attach the blast effects in any configuration that you want. Of course, the more you put on there, the heavier it's going to be on that ball joint, but it kind of stops right here. And these ratchets are pretty daggone strong. Let me just try all of them. Apparently the footage of me putting all the blast effects on got deleted, so there was no easy way for me to edit that out since I talked over myself. Technically, I guess he doesn't have a traditional stand port, but it does have a 5mm peg right there where I showed that the gun goes in. This stand that I'm using is not using that. That's an amazing Yamaguchi stand. With enough tightening of the screws, I'm able to get him supported in that little port that connects to this right here. So I'm going to try not to bump the desk or he's going to fall over. Now to transform this portion, basically move this out, bring it down, bring what is now the foot down, and go ahead and bring these out like shoulders. Unattach it right there, bring that down, unattach it, bring that down. These two things right here, bring them out like tails. Lower these guns, go ahead and just flip the head out. It will stop you at this point. Shut that, and this just stays up with friction. It doesn't clip into anything. It stays up nice and good, but once again, not secure feeling. But basically, here you are with this thing, and it is not simple. It has a ton of freaking posability, like beyond what most even high-end Voltron lions have. Only thing it's missing is any type of abdominal type articulation. If it had that, holy moly. But of course you can do this right here. You can do this, all that's on hard ratchets, as you can hear. This is just a swivel. There you go. He's gone. You can bend here. You can also bend here. One is a softer ratchet, this one's a harder ratchet. Bends here, all the way back, all the way forward. Plus ankle pivot on the back of that. The front, you get this action to broaden out the chest, but you can do that. Rotate, swivel here, bend there, and then another bend just like in the back leg right there. All of that, and you don't need any of that for any of the alternate modes. They specifically gave him like all these joints right there just for this mode. Same as the back leg and the ankle pivot. Up here, this thing, no, that doesn't do anything, but it can rock back and forth a little bit. Plus you get some rock on a ball joint on this. Then there's a hinge that can go down and up. Plus the head can look down a bit on its individual ball joint. And the mouth opens up all the way. It also has a laser tongue right here, so he can have blast effects on it. Now this head with all this, let's see before I start lying. Yeah, you can't support all that weight because there's nothing holding the tongue up, and that seems to even be too heavy. Let's see. You can use that at least, so that's good. But this thing has a ton of freaking articulation, and you can definitely get him into wide cat-like poses and whatnot with the feet flat on the floor and everything. You could bend this to look like whatever you want and make it look even more cat-like back there. It's freaking awesome. Like, to have this that's sort of like a butterfly joint action, and then to have these legs back here, you can get this thing quite posed up. And of course you can attach the guns up here. So besides not having any type of waist motion, this thing pretty much, it's way more fun than those Playmates classic lions, and or the big Playmates lions. And it's kind of on par with frickin' the Solar Chikoken Voltron lions. Here's a close-up on his face. Here is the back of the head right there. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the only real new detail. I'm saying it has one of those stamps they like to give them. But if you look up close, all these gunmetal parts have like details and whatnot. Pull that ramp down, open up the back, and he can have a freaking army of Micromasters inside of him, like as many as you have laying around. You can fit. You could pretend he has like an army of Micromasters just coming out. With him standing straight up, here is my Magic Square Light of Justice Freedom. I can never remember. Here's my New Age Jazz right there. Here is a Voyager class figure right there. Here they are together. Alright, here's something I didn't realize. If I lay him down, he gets a little bit taller. So he can get right up into Jetfire's face. And this video is freaking longer than I expected, or I'm gonna have a lot to take out. Anyway, go ahead and pull this down, push the head down, and rotate this basically like that. Bring this up to cover that. Now we can bring these two tails in, and boom, you're done with that. Now this guy, ball up the feet, push them up this direction, and kind of bend that straight and bring that up. Ball this up, do this, and basically shove it back up into that orientation. Now everything else is pretty much the way it needs to be. We can go ahead and stay up there, do the same thing, get that on top of this, like shove it as far up as possible, and then click that, and now we have his final form right here. And I believe he would think that he's magnificent. But all the same articulation you had in the Lynx mode is still here. All the same articulation you had in the bird minus the legs still there. You still have access to this freaking tail right here, which is cool. And yeah, it's awesome. Doesn't need to bring Jetfire back out here. Well, yeah, seeing it like this, you can kind of tell that both of these should be Commander class, because he is very massive down here. Since you can't angle him up, I mean, the face is still up there, but it's not really higher. Let me I just thought about something. I wanted to see what it looks like in a seated position. I hadn't tried that. I'll put the legs down like that. So that's cool. So it's sort of like something like a Sphinx type creature, where it's multiple animals put together. The Sphinx was like a lion, a bird, and a friggin' person. All right, here's something I'm totally adding in last. I totally missed the ports he has on his neck right here. So you can have guns on his neck if you want. Now we've done everything, I think. I hope I didn't leave anything out. I did show that base mode, the weird base mode. And as you can see here, we can port all 7 of the blast effects on his body at once. On both guns, his chest, and the mouth at the same time. And you know what? Oh no, you can't get weird. I was going to say let's get weird and bring that head out, but then it would detach right there. So yeah, we can't get weird. But overall, the figure feels good. The plastic in both modes, like when you pick up the box, you'll be feeling like, wow, this thing is heavy. And then when you pull them out, you still feel like, wow, these things are heavy, like separately. So together, it's very close to 2 pounds, which is cool. My only gripes is these panels right here seem to want to detach way easier than I would like. On this particular copy, I was able to get this into a more satisfying click that I was mentioning on the wing, but that still has the risk of falling off. I don't like that this door doesn't, I mean, it stays secure enough as long as you don't pull this beyond that range right there. The mouths, the jaws, I wish in both modes, I wish the jaws had like a ratchet in there so they could stay shut more securely. But just note, use the smaller pieces so you don't have to worry about their heads drooping down or whatever. But depending on how you have it angled, as I was showing, you wouldn't have to worry about that anyway, because the neck is strong. So it has strong ratchets and it has ways to get around some of its shortcomings. But overall, some people probably want to wait and pray for that Jetfire sales that you kept seeing, where Jetfire kept being $45. Me personally, I think it's worth what they're charging, regardless of the little QC things that I'm mentioning. Like, it stays shut when you shut it, but once you start handling it crazy, then you'll have a problem. Now, a kid actually playing with this, I think a kid would be frustrated. These wings, the wings I guess would be the most flimsiest thing. And if your kid gets a copy that has a wing falling off and they're trying to swoosh around and whatnot, that would be annoying. In fact, I don't know. What's the age on this box? The age on the box is 8+. Oh yeah. You know they're going for adults with these. This thing wasn't even in the cartoon. Spoiler alert. That just came out on Netflix. Maybe he'll be in Earthrise, since he is part of Earthrise. But so far, no, he wasn't even on the show. The kids don't even have anything to relate to, really, unless y'all forcing them to watch G1 with you. But I like it. Satisfied with it. Thank you, Nate, for letting me review this early before I get mine. Until next time, T-Man978, out of here. Skylynx is £1, 11.6. Click the videos. Click the fucking videos, baby. Click the videos. You should really click these videos. Click the videos. Click those to click those videos. Click that shit.